video right here is a quick one. I'm doing this one on Russell Westbrook and the coaching style that he needs to help elevate his game with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They have Patrick Beverly here and Brian Windhorst talking about Russell Westbrook. I think this is first take, but as they go along, already know I'm gonna try them in.
Sounds like they should expect to have Russell Westbrook on the team at least for a while. According to Sam Amick of The Athletic, the Lakers are asking coaching candidates how they might use Westbrook in their systems if they are hired. So, Pat, when
you gotta ask that question now, because the guy before, which was Frank Vogel, he actually believed Russell Westbrook was a great shooter. For some reason, he wanted Russ to be coming off screens and shooting the ball in the mid-range, when actually that is not Russell Westbrook's game. And that's why sometimes I took LeBron and them side when it came down to getting rid of Frank Vogel. At first I was like, oh, why y'all want to get rid of him? He helped y'all win a championship. But then again, I started thinking about it. This guy actually wanted Russell Westbrook to be a shooter. It's like if he was trying to push Westbrook out of the league somehow by making him look bad when he's the one telling him to do what it is on the court. You already know the best part of Westbrook game is getting to the basket. Why would you want to make him a shooter if the best part of his game is getting to the basket?
you hear that, but that's a topic of discussion between the Lakers and coaching candidates, what are your thoughts?
Due diligence. I think they're supposed to ask that question. That's not a question that they're not supposed to ask. I think they're crossing their T's and dotting their I's. What coach can get the most out of Russ, and what system are they going to implement in around Russ and LeBron and AD. And if it's up to me, it's more shooting. But I don't know how that works out with the Lakers.
Wendy, what do you think? Are the Lakers going about this the right way?
Let me just say this. The Lakers definitely need more shooting. The only thing is, the Lakers can't make a trade for more shooting. They got a few pieces on that team that they could probably move, but most of these teams right now is going to want a draft pick to go along with the trades that they offering. And the Lakers right now, they got very limited draft picks, and they are not giving those up. So I feel like they can get some shooting. They just have to sign somebody, minimum contract wise. Might want to have to get. I know you don't want to get no more veterans because, as you can see, them guys were old and they couldn't keep up with them young guys on certain nights. So, yeah, you're going to have to shop around. It's going to be pretty hard for the Lakers this season, especially when you got a guy like Anthony Davis on your team. Can't stay healthy. It's like Mr. Glass. You blow at him, he'll probably break apart.
Yeah, I think what the Lakers realize is that there's a chance they may not have a trade for Russell Westbrook that makes sense. And so there's a possibility that he will be brought back. And also, as they reviewed the season, from what I'm told, they thought that there was a way that Westbrook maybe could have been given a different structure early from that coaching staff that maybe he could have done better in.
Definitely, I agree with that. But the thing is, his IQ has to be a little better than what it is. Russ is an amazing player. Amazing guy, amazing scorer, amazing player. He give you his 100%, but his basketball IQ sucks on certain nights. Like some passes, it's like, damn, Russ is like him and James Harden. I put them in the same boat. These dudes are amazing when it comes to the game, amazing. But when it comes to the clutch moments, like when you need them in a game 5, a game 6. These guys' basketball IQ dropped to the floor, man. Russ' basketball IQ is nowhere close to like Stephen Curry's or Kyrie Irving. Like he needs to elevate his basketball IQ, and he needs to listen to LeBron if he wants to get to that place, James Harden, he needs to elevate his basketball IQ, and the only way he can do that is listen to Doc Rivers instead of pouting every time something doesn't go his way. That's one thing I don't like about James Harden. He pouts too fucking much when things don't go his way. And then he gives up. When he finally knows he's going to lose, he gives up. I don't like that at all about James Harden. That's one characteristic you can't get rid of. And your teammates, some of your peers expose that about you. But I give James Harden his trust and believe he does deserve a max contract from the Sixers. You're not going to find another James Harden in the league. Who are you on? Like, if you don't give him that contract, he goes somewhere else, you're going to be pissed because you're going to get nothing back. So if I was the Sixers, I'll give him that contract. But like I say, these dudes, man, they basketball IQ stinks, man.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but here's the other bottom line. They're bringing in like a dozen candidates. They don't necessarily have the answer for Russell Westbrook, so you might as well take a bunch of smart basketball people's opinions for free and see if you can't glean something that you can do with that, because it's going to take a village to figure out what to do with Russell Westbrook to make it work with the Lakers.
Well, I have a smart basketball person sitting right here next to me today. So, Pat, if Westbrook still is on the team, what do the Lakers need in order to get the best out of him?
Another playmaker. That's easy. Obviously, LeBron James and Russell Westbrook are going to have the ball a lot, but a guy that can play off the catch, a guy that can shoot the three very well, a guy that can bring up the ball also.
Nah, I'm not going to agree with that, Pat. They don't need another playmaker. They already got LeBron and Russ. Those two can average and get you 11 assists. They don't need that. Then again, you know, LeBron did play better with Rondo. You know, so I don't agree with that. I think they need a big man. I think the Lakers need a big man that's skilled like Jokic, but not as much. You don't need much from him. You don't need much from him on the team. You don't need him to be Jokic. You just need him to have certain of his skill sets, like a little bit of the passing, a little bit of the defense, something like Brook Lopez, like what Milwaukee got. You know, that's what the Lakers need. They need somebody at the 5. You know, so because AD cannot play the 5 for some reason. LeBron tried to play the 5, but he can't guard none of them centers. So the Lakers need a center. They don't need a playmaker. They need a center and they need some shooters.
To take some pressure off of them. That's I think they need. Surround them with a little bit more shooting. You got to address that 5 position. Do they have a popping 5? Do they have a facilitating 5? Do they have a rolling 5? Do they have a rim protecting 5? You address those issues with a little bit of shooting around them. I don't think it's a hard fix.
Wendy, you mentioned that the Lakers might be asking candidates about this because they haven't found the market they expected for Westbrook. Is he on? Do you think he's on the Lakers next year?
Of course.
You know, Dan, I don't see a trade out there unless they're willing to dip into their future draft assets. That is a question that, frankly, goes all the way to owner Jeannie Buss. She's got to agree or to deal with the team in 2027, 2029. She's got to protect the organization. If they're not willing to include, whether it's either those picks or other second-round picks, I think it's going to be very hard to make a trade that meaningfully helps them with Westbrook, which I don't think they expected different. I think they realize and they have open eyes on what they're doing. They're trying to explore all avenues. And Jeannie Buss, in her interview with the LA Times last week, alluded to this, where she said that Phil Jackson, who she advises her, says there's always a path to success. Sometimes the path is just painful, and that's what the Lakers are coming down right now.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube.
The Lakers going to be going through that pain for a little while because LeBron James is getting much older. As you could see last year, he couldn't guard a damn statue if he wanted to. He couldn't even guard a damn broom or a mop. The mop going to fall to the floor. Guess what LeBron going to do? He going to flop. But, yeah, it's going to be hard to build around that team. It's going to be hard. LeBron value is starting to sink way more down to what it is. Next year, I don't know what we're going to get from him on the offensive end, but he was very explosive this year on the offensive end. It's just defensive-wise. What is LeBron giving you on that end? You know, you can't have him out there on defense playing gladiator and trying to push everybody up to guard his man. You know, it's four guys guarding 5 people, and then him doing what he want on the offensive end. That's what sucks about playing with LeBron James. But people are going to say what they want to say. You know, I know some of y'all are going to be like, oh, but LeBron is, you know, this and that, but he does so much on the offensive end. Listen, we have so many players in the league that do so much on the offensive end and do so much on the defensive end as well, which is Giannis, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. There's a lot of players going down that list that can score offensively and defensively. Joel Embiid, you know. It's just that it's over. Age is finally caught up with LeBron. It's over, you know. But that's it for this video. Like I always end it, you guys drink your water, eat your pineapples, and most importantly, let's stay positive.